Hi, welcome to you all again. Okay, before we start, I would like to give a brief overview on what we had. Lee, yes, we do not have any slideshow. I'll be just uploading the Excel file whenever it is necessary so that you can see. Till that, you can keep hearing me. Okay, okay, okay. Just to start with. So, let us start with the present process till 2014. So, till 2014, the statistics forms, once it was ready, we used to inform the regional offices and the country coordination officers so that they could download the forms from the Navision, and they would send it to the projects for filling it up. But Chinese and Vietnamese forms could not be downloaded from the Navision because there is no language codes available in it. So we used to use the Chinese and Vietnamese templates, which used to be sent to the projects for filling it up. So once the regional offices and the country coordination officers sends to the partners, and once it is filled in by the partners, they would send it back to the regional office or the country coordination officers, so that the first check would be done by the regional office or the country coordination office, and then they would send it back to me for uploading. So this was the initial starting process till now. So from 2015 and from 2015, there is a small change in this process. The thing is, once the statistics form is ready, the English, the Chinese and Vietnamese will stay as it is, because we don't have the language code created in the Navision. So Chinese and Vietnamese projects have to use the templates which is ready, and we'll intimate you when to send it, but it will be before 15th of November. And once it is ready, you can send it to the projects, and the English ones you can download it from the Navision, and you can send it to the projects before 15th of November. And once it is received at the project's end, they would fill it up, the the statistics form. And here I would like to make to show you one thing, that earlier, can everyone see my screen? Hope everyone can see my screen with the statistics form. Okay. So just to show you this one, earlier we had nine sheets of statistics form, which you used to send it to the projects. Okay, now it is only one single form. That we'll discuss it later, just to show it to you, just to give you an idea. And now it is one single form with all the required and the must-haves. This is discussed with all the related stakeholders, and we have narrowed down the 9 forms to the one form. Earlier we had around 450 statistics codes. Now it is around 127 statistics codes with one sheet. Earlier it was around 450 statistics codes with 9 sheets. That is a brief summary. And once they fill in the form, once the projects fill in the form, instead of sending it back to the regional officers, we have created a centralized email ID called cbm.statistics@cbm.org, which the email ID and other details will be sent to you in a separate email. This is just to let you know that there is a centralized email for statistics created, and the projects, once they fill in the statistics form, they can send it directly they have to send it directly to this centralized email ID with a CC to the concerned program officer if required at your end. And when they are sending back the emails with the filled in forms, the format of the subject line should be, first it should start with uh, region, then country, then the project number as it is mentioned in the statistics form. For example, um, I would just give a small example in the chat box. If you can see, I would just give that one. Some the subject line should be like this. For example, if 2972 MYP is sending the statistics form, filled in statistics forms to the centralized email ID, the subject line should be ASC-Vietnam-2972-MYP, the full form, full project number, so that it is easy for us to sort it out. What we are doing is, this centralized email ID we will be giving access to in the international office. Me, Karen, and Rolf will be having the access to this centralized email ID, and all the regions contact people who have given their name, means whom you have sent as a contact people to each regions, they will be provided with the access to this centralized email ID. How it works and all these things will be informed to you uh, in a separate email. As of now, just for your information, and this email ID will be created and you will be having access to it, so that once the project sends the statistics form, filled in and statistics form to this ID, I will do a preliminary check on the technical, from the technical point of view, whether there are no red cells, or it is okay with the numbers or something like that. So once it is okay from my end, I would upload it to the Navision, and and this data has to be confirmed from the regional office before 30th January. So the projects fill in the statistic form and send it to the centralized statistics email as soon as possible, or before the last working day of the year in 2015, and in 2016, before 15th of January, they can change the statistics form which they have sent earlier, or they can give an update on that, so that they can say, okay, before 15th November, if you are sent before 30th November, if you are sending, for example, let us say that by 15th December a project sends a filled in statistics form to the centralized statistics, and before 15th of January 2016, they might update few figures saying that, okay, this is something was a draft figure and this is the real figure, something like that. They can send us an update, and before 30th January 2016, you have to confirm that the statistics the project has sent is correct, or you have to send us the revised one, so that we can have a clear picture. Why we are having these deadlines? Because earlier it was in February end was the deadline, and now it is 15th January, because the management requires at least the trend figures before the end of January. So we want at least the numbers to show to the management as well as to the other, especially the MAs who wants to fundraise. So they wanted these figures early enough, instead of, because earlier all these years we used to give the report of activities only in the month of April, because we used to get the month statistics by end of February, or even by the end of March. So we had to prepare the report of activities and we had to submit, so that it would take time, and one quarter is already gone before submitting the report of activities. So as the management requires trend figures at least before the month of January, so we are requesting all the projects and the regional offices to kindly provide us with these figures. And this is the first part, and please let me know if you have any clarifications on this part, what we have discussed till now, what I have told till now. Sorry. Yes, no, you can just on your microphone and just speak out.
Hi, Venkatesh.
Yeah,
I would like to have a comment on the dates
yeah,
that the partner should return their statistics to you,
yeah,
I mean to the central email.
yeah.
That during the last week of December, I think many of the offices are already closed.
Mm,
So in my mind now, I think that I would like to extend
mhm,
to the first day of the working day of the 2016 on the 5th
mhm.
of January that the partner sent to central email. Is that acceptable for
Yeah,
you?
yeah. See,
Then we have
for
another
us,
10 days.
yeah, for us it is 15th
Yeah,
January 2016 that
yeah,
we have fixed for the projects to send it to the centralized email ID.
okay,
What I'm telling,
okay,
what
okay,
I'm telling is, if the project is comfortable sending a draft figures, say for example, from
yeah,
by November 30th, you would send the statistics form to the project, so that they want to give a draft figures till November 30th what they have done. Say by December 15th
mm-hmm.
they want to give a see for the first 11 months or something like that, they would have done some work, so they can fill it up and send us the draft figures, and before 15th of January 2016 they can change the figures and send us the final one. That's not a problem, I can replace
Okay,
the earlier one. So I'm providing you all the, what to say, options that is available. So it is not that they have to send
Yes,
it the final figures at one time in one shot. They can send the first draft
yes.
figures and even the, okay, yes, Karen, go ahead please.
Yeah. I mean, probably it's not even draft figures. Many projects just don't work so much in December anymore because Christmas is coming and they are closing offices or whatever. So if they kind of close their work, there's no further numbers going to be added really, figures increasing or something. So they could already just fill the statistics and send it before end of December. If they end in November basically with their work, so fine, then they can just get, if they receive the statistics, fill it and send it back. And if there is any tiny change in January until the 15th, they can correct it. But I think for many projects who don't really work until the 30th of December, until New Year's Day, they can send it earlier. I mean, that would be ideal. And I don't know, I hope that would be possible, rather earlier than later.
Yeah, okay.
Continue, Venkatesh.
Yeah, yeah, yes, please. Is there any other clarification required, so that we wait for a minute?
Is the concept of the central statistic email clear? I mean, Venkatesh and I will really try to keep it tidy, to
Yeah,
have you an
yeah.
overview
Karen,
all the time. You may,
that is my next topic. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. Then I would go ahead. I think there are no other doubts as of now. Okay, you can stop me at any point of time. Just send me a chat message, or just switch on your microphone so that I know you want to speak. Okay. So we said that we'll be creating a centralized statistics email ID. So in once we create this centralized statistics email ID, what we do is we create subfolders for each region, so that once for example, if a project's in Vietnam sends a statistic form to the centralized statistics email ID with a CC2PO, that is left to the regional office whether to decide or to give it only direct to the centralized statistic email, that is left to the regional office decision. But once it comes to the centralized statistics email ID, what I do is I just take that email ID and put it under ASC in the folder called ASC, so that you can see all the statistics forms which have been received in the ASC folder, and if there is any correspondence you can see in the ASC folder. So that by doing this, as all the regions will be having access to this email ID, they, instead of searching all the emails, they can just go to the subfolder created to that region, and they can look into the required information. That is a part of the work that we will be doing once this once this is ready and access all these things are worked out, which will be informing it to you later. Yes, the next point is, once the centralized email ID is created and partners start sending the information or the statistics forms to the centralized email ID, I would be creating an overview of the statistics form. I would like to just give you how it looks. I'll just upload a Excel form just to show you how it looks. It is just a draft figure. All the figures are draft. I just wanted to show you how it looks. Can everyone see this Excel overview form? Okay. 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 This will be this Excel form will be containing two worksheets. One will be the overview and one will be the project count. Now it is a draft project count which I have put in here, so that you can just go to your there will be a filter provided for all the columns. So you can just filter it for ASC, Asia Central. Okay, then you can see only the figures that are I think it is too big. Yeah, can you see the whole form, or it is too short or too little? You can't see the headings or something like that. If you want me to zoom in a little bit, I can zoom in. Yeah, okay. Is it okay? Okay, okay, okay. This as of now, this is just a draft, just to give you an idea how it looks. It will be containing the columns like region, country, project number, project title. This is the regional office project count. Received at IO means the statistics are received at the centralized email ID. Technical check OKS means it has been checked by me, and if it is imported, it will be imported. And if you say that the project stats are not necessary, it may be for any reason. It may be consolidated in other project number, or it may be something like it is only the building support, or we are not supporting anything, or something like that. You can just give me your reasons why it is not necessary in. I can just say not necessary and give your reasons in comments RO column. Okay, and once you endorse the data that the data is correct, or if you change the data or something like that, then you will be putting S here. For example, I'll just show you one sample. Okay, we make it as 2535. Are you able to follow me? Yeah. Okay, for example, for 2535, I just say that okay, I have received it on 20th December 2015. Okay, and I have checked and marked it as yes, and I have also, as there was no such clarifications, I have also imported. So, and this, and for example, you have also endorsed, just for an example, you have also endorsed the regional of, otherwise we take it out, the endorsement after, we'll take it later. Once you do this one, once I do this one, if you go to the overview and I just click on the pivot table which I have created, I make it as a refresh. You can just see here, Asia Central, one received, one technical okay, one imported. So that you now, now you have means 33 as for example, if you consider 34 projects, 33 are pending and 97% are pending and 3% is. It is just for, this is an overview which gives an overview of how many projects have been from received, how many okay, and how many imported. And once you say that this is done, say, if you endorse, okay, once you endorse, I just put it as yes, and if you just see that, and then again you can see here 1. So this I would be doing regularly when, as and when the projects are sending the statistics, and I would be sending this as an attachment to everyone in the statistics, in the centralized statistics form, so that everyone can open this one and they can see how many projects they have received and how many technical okay. And one more thing, if you just want to see only about you and without going to this form, this next sheet, if you want to see this one, you can just double click on some of regional projects. If you just double click, it opens as a new sheet, and you will find the same as you'll find the separate sheet for this one, for only for your region. I think this will be too much confusing. What you can do is you can just go to the next, and you can filter to your region, so that you know how many are received, how many are technically okay, and how many imported, and what is the date that has been received, all these details. Hope it is clear. Yes, Nok, please.
It's me again.
Yeah,
Thank you for the overview.
please.
I just have a small question, how this link to the monitoring table in Navision, because we used to have, like, if we send the statistic, then we will put the monitoring status that we send to IO, and this already uploaded, something like that.
Yeah.
Will this link to that table?
Nook, this is not linked to any monitoring table as of now. This is a separate email ID. This is a separate Excel which I will be maintaining at my end, just to control on the number of statistics form that are coming in and that are going out. This, because earlier what you used to do, once you send it to the me, you used to upload. But here, as the process has been little bit changed, it comes to the centralized statistics email ID. As soon as it comes into the centralized email statistics email ID, I would just put it as received at IO. Okay.
Okay, so that means that we have to manually put the monitoring status in the Navision, or do I not need to?
No, not required in monitoring status as of now. You can just keep sending, and once it is ready, we just update you.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Any other questions?
Yes.
I'm
wondering. So normally, how was this done before? Like normally, you would have the statistic Nook, and then you would change the statistic code or put in the statistic code in the Navision monitoring of the project card, right?
No, like we used to send all the statistics data in Excel sheet to Venkatesh in email, right? And then once they receive in IO, I remember that, and after Venkatesh uploaded, it will create a line in monitoring status. We didn't do anything in Navision. But
so it was an automatic function when it's uploaded. Venkatesh, is there any issue? I think that we should check with Bastian that this still functions, right?
Yeah, the thing is, Karen, earlier the project used to send it to the regional office, and the regional office, after checking and clarifying, then they used to send it to me. And once it is uploaded, the line used to create. But now what happens is, once it as soon as it comes to the centralized statistics email and I upload it, the line should be already created.
Yeah, I think we have to check on this function and see how this works best to not to create further work. Yeah, this should still be automatic somehow.
But what I would like to tell the regional officers is, please don't worry about the monitoring status. Just concentrate on sending the statistics and checking on the statistics, and me at my end will keep a control on this form, and I'll be giving you an updates on the overview. Is this fine?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else till now? so that I can move further. Okay, then I would take up the next point. See, as you know, the management requires the statistics early, and I would like to inform you that from 2016 onwards, the statistics will be quarterly, and we will be using the same one pager what we are using for 2015, with a little bit changes, something to make a provision for quarterly reporting, because for 2015 it will be yearly, and from 2016 onwards it will be quarterly reporting with the same one pager form. And for that we have to, for quarter to reflect, we have to make some provision in the form, which we will be doing, and the same thing will be informed to you to circulate it to the partners once this form 2016 for quarterly 2016 is ready. For that, for the process of 2016 to start, we have to close the 2015 process at the earliest. That is also a reason why this preponement of the deadlines has happened. And one important and happy news for you all is that this quarterly reporting, once the projects keep sending quarterly, so that it will be easy for you to do your CIP monitoring, how it is progressing, and how it is been done, what is the data for the first quarter, what is this, so that I can send you the quarterly data report for your region and the country wise, so that you can have an analysis on what has been done. Lee, just a moment, I'll just close this one and I'll come back to your comment. This one, sorry, it was something. Yeah, this quarterly reporting, once it every quarter, I will be sending you the reports as per the region, as per the country, so that you can have a good monitoring on your CIP. Yes, coming back to,
and also yeah, and I also want to mention that when we start the quarterly reporting, at the same time we will work with Natalie to integrate the statistics into the PPR. So actually we will try, we have simplified the statistic and reduced it in order to be able to integrate it into the normal monitoring.
Yeah.
So for a while it will run parallel, but we will try to get it as soon as possible to integrate it into the monitoring. Yeah. So that's the actual goal of it, to have it as a monitoring tool rather than having the statistics separately. But for a while we have to run it parallel. But the good thing is it's already reduced, as you saw, as Benka just showed you. It's been 9 forms and many codes, and now it's 1 form and much less codes. So I hope it's easier to fill. We really do hope so.
Yeah. There is a question from Lee and also Dev, which they are asking whether ANCP statistic form needs to be filled in. I would just like to mention that the ANCP form is related to Australia. It is a specific donor request from the MA, and on the requirement of that form, I think you have to check with the Australian Concerned Program Officer, because as of now they might be requiring this ANCP stats form also. But I do not know, but you have to get in touch with the Australian Concerned Program Officer, so that they can give you a correct answer. Okay. Hope you are clear till now. Okay. Okay. Then, as you see, we had earlier, as I said you earlier, the same thing. We had 9 forms and with 450 codes. Now we have just one single form, which you can see on my screen. which is just one single form called CBM Statistics. With 127 or around 130 codes. Yeah.
Probably you zoom out to give them an overview on the whole thing, and then you zoom in back again.
Yeah. This is just to show you. I think it will be very small. If this is just
like this is fine, I think, just to give the structure.
Yeah. I think they already know the structure because I had sent the document for translations. I think most of them have already seen the structure.
So there's a letter, there's a head of the document, and then there is the work areas, which are the green lines on health, education and livelihood, and empowerment and inclusion.
Yeah.
So that's the basic structure.
Yeah, this is the basic structure. And let me start explaining it bit by bit so that it's more clearer to you. So the project year, sub-project number, and sub-project name, these are the same rows which you have in the earlier forms, where the project number, here you have to fill in the project number. If you can, I'll just take 2972 MYP, which will be, if it is an English one, it will be pre-filled with the project number. So here in this form, the beauty of this form is short. First one, it is short. The second thing is we have put in the background text to all the yellow cells. Here you can see the one thing is, no confusion, the partner has to fill in only the yellow cells and nothing else, only the yellow cells. And what to fill in that cell. If you just go to the cell, for example sub-project number, if you just go there, you can see in the background, you see that there is something that is written. You can just say, for example, sub-project number, a project working in different districts or units may use the sub-project functions to report statistics separately. Select 01, 02, 03 till 11 from scroll down. Do a save as copy of the main project statistics form with a new document name. This means, for example, if 2972 MYP is working in 3 places, or it wants to report of it wants to, just for an example, it is working in 3 places, and it wants to report in as 3 separate statistics form. What you can do in this, you can select a sub-project number 01, and you can give the place name. I don't know the place names in AC, so I'll just put something like this. Okay, this is the first place name, and you can make a file save as copy, file save as on your desktop, so that, oh, this is something else. This is the name of the, but normally the name of the form will be country and the project name, and at the end what you can do is you can just put hyphen and make it as 01. Okay, just save. This will be 01, and again you can make it as save as and make it as 02, save, and change this one to 02 and change the place name. And what you can do, or what the projects can send, they can send, and again save, and one more thing, save as, this will be 3, next one is 3. Okay, they can select as 03, and they can give the place name, so that, and they can fill in separately the forms for each sub-project number, and say they can send all the 3 sub-projects, all the 3 statistics form to the centralized statistics email ID. Once they send all the 3 statistics form, all the 3 statistics forms will be separately uploaded in the Navision, and will be having the same project number, but it will be taken as 1, 2, 3. The beauty is, If you want to have a consolidated data for 2972, you can get it. Or if you want to have a data only for just one sub project or one to one place or whatever the things, then you can get it. So you can get both the consolidated data as well as the separate data. This sub project number is just to ease the project and the regional office to make sure that instead of if it is a cluster of projects or if they are working in different districts, instead of they sitting and manually doing the consolidation, they can send it as separate document so that the Navision or the software does the consolidation work for us. Yeah, any doubts regarding this, please?
Venkatesh, I just want to show them that this information box in the background, you can move it anywhere where it doesn't disturb you.
Yeah, you can.
Just like click and drag so that people, it cannot be deleted. It's not a common field because we really want the projects to hopefully read the text, but it can be moved anywhere.
Yeah, you can just click like this and move it anywhere so that it doesn't disturb you to read. Yeah, silence means okay, okay. So I can go ahead. Okay. Thank you, Nook. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, we come to the actual statistics forms. First is the header. The first column A is the statistics codes. Column B, here you say, it is mentioned that enter yellow cells. Enter only integers or whole numbers without decimal points. Don't enter numbers by linking other excels. That is entering link instead of number. For yellow cells in column D, select as forms call down. White cells do not override formulas. Means that you should only use the yellow cells and please do not override the formulas which is in white cells. Actually this form will be blocked and the projects can only work on the yellow cells. They can't work on any white cells or any other cells apart from yellow cells. But from our experience we see that the files somehow crack the passwords, or they do it as a save as copy, or cut this one and paste in a different Excel or do something like that. So it's our request not to change the format or things. Use the same form what we have sent. And next, coming to the columns. Earlier we had this S column, adult. We had male female. Instead of that we have men women. Now we have just changed men women. And children, we have boys girls total. All these columns were already there in the previous statistics form. The additional columns are, we have added the same headings here and also a new column. All these columns are new from this column K. So column K to Q. All these columns what you see here are new. So that the last column Q is really a good one. For example, you can give any comments to a particular row. For example, if you want to give any comments for this row, you can just go to that row. You can just click. You can click your comments, so that what you see in this row for this code, whatever you see in this, or for all the codes, there is a comments row provision given for them to write their comments. What you see in this row for this code will be uploaded in Nav, and also when you generate reports, this will be appearing in the target report. So it will be easy for a region. For example, if a region wants to know what are the comments given for STA001 from different projects, we can easily take out a report saying that for this project, for this statistics code, which all the projects have given what all the comments, so that it is easy for the projects to fill in need not write a separate email regarding that this is what they can just put in the comments directly to that row. Only thing they have to remember is they should not club or merge the cells while giving the comments, because once you merge the cells, then the Navision or the software doesn't know to which code this text or the comments given should be taken, so it will not take the comments. So it is always better, please don't merge the cells when you are giving comments, just directly put it in that cell. Yeah, the next thing is this the section is please indicate the main focus of your project. Please note emergency and NTD projects to report on separate forms, and this is apart from NTD and emergency work, this is the form. For example, this section from ST001 to ST008, you can see vision, eye health, ear and hearing care, physical education, CPR, CMH, livelihood, other services. All these rows, what you see here, were the sheets in the earlier form. Earlier you had vision form, entity form, hearing form, physical form, CBR, CMH form, education form, all these forms. But now it is just one row. This is created just to provide the links from the previous years. We have just put as explanation also. CBM has created the statistic form for vision, ear and hearing care. Please select according to the form you filled before. This will help us to compare with your data from previous years. So this is just a linking bridge for the previous year data what the projects have sent. This is the first section, and the next section will be the type of impairment or disability. Here you see visual impairment, hearing impairment, physical impairment, all this impairment from ST100 to 1000, and here from column E to column I, they fill in the CBR, CMH and livelihood projects would fill in their numbers here, what they used to fill in till 2014. Those projects what they were filling, they used to fill, and the education projects will fill in their students number here. This is also the first two sections. This focus section and type of impairment section will be the same as like the projects which used to fill in the previous years. They will be filling in the same info in this year, because this is just a bridge for the previous years. For example, if a CBR project has 10 visually clients, they can just put in 10, and if they want to mention something like they want to mention some comments, they can happily give here, so that we know that for this code there is a comment and it will be uploaded. These two sections, as I told you, it is a bridge for the previous year's data. And any doubts? Yeah.
Venkatesh,
Yes.
just for the better vision, could you change from breakup mode to a normal page mode, so we don't see the page 1, page 2, page 3? Okay. I think that would be a bit easier to.
Okay.
The normal, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I think that's a bit better now.
Okay. Yeah. Any comments or any clarifications?
I mean, as Venkatesh said, this is a bit a bridge back to what we had before, to have a comparison to the old codes. Maybe for the future we don't need it anymore, but for 2015 we thought we'd rather have it and see how it works. Mm-hmm. And also to give a bit more the identification of what has been before. So we thought this might be helpful. But as you see, Venkatesh will also explain the green box now, I think.
Yeah. Till now, I think you are clear, right? Because there are no smileys here, that's why Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, here there is an additional line which you can see. For example, here this is a there of code. This is row number 41 which I am highlighting. This is row number 41.
Venkatesh, could you first go to the structure and the green box?
No, it is a there of code for the top one. See, for example,
I think I'd quickly say that if you see the green box next to the former focus of project, that and if you zoom out a little, that you see that first identifying the focus of the project as it has been before, like the statistic sheet that you filled before from the old statistic that Venkatesh showed you earlier, that you can see that after this, like when the work areas start, every project can fill every work area. If it says health, the CBR projects can also fill health. It's not only for vision or for physical or for orthopedic project, it's also for any project.
Karen, I just wanted to mention that there is a line for thereof number of children under 6 years of age receiving early intervention. I just wanted to inform them there is a line additional.
Yeah.
That's why. Next I come to the work area.
Okay.
Okay. This is the row number 41 which you see, which I have which you see. For example, you have 20 children of visual impairment in CBR project, and in that we require thereof number of children under 6 of age. Out of this 20, how many have received early intervention? This is a new row. Say for example, five children have received early intervention of this 20. Of, for example, this is the total of this 20. If they might be having, say, hearing impairment, say around 10, and the physical impairment around 25. So that once you keep doing this one, the total keeps coming in row number 38. It will be automatic total. So out of this 30 boys, how many were under 6? It may be, say, around just 10 boys were under 6. This just to let you know that this thereof code is for the line which is above. That is ST1001 is a thereof code for ST1000. Yeah. I think yes, Lee, please go ahead. What is your question? Hello, can you hear me? Multiple disability is nothing but any person having more than one disability will fall under multiple disabilities. Hope it's clear now. Can we go to the next section, or do you have? Yeah.
I think the type of impairment or disability, that's what we had before.
Yeah.
It's been harmonized between education and CBR, but it's what we had before.
I'll just show you the previous document, 2014 document also, so that you are more clearer.
Yeah,
in CBR form, in CBR form, just a second, I'm unfreezing the things. Okay, in CBR CMH form, you had these clients: visual impairment, hearing impairment, physical impairment, all these impairments, and you had adults and children. And the same way in education form, you had this section, children's and adults with visual impairment. So these two sections under CBR CMH and education, we have put in as different columns in one in one place. That's what we have made.
Maybe you zoom out a little, just a bit.
Yeah, because it is too small. Okay, this is for CBR CMH and this is for education, and the same lines we have harmonized from both the forms earlier. Okay, any doubts or any clarifications? Lee, you have said that does it include the visual impairment? I did not really get this, your question, please. Can you just talk out? Lee, can you hear me? Can you please speak? No, I'm not. Okay. Can multiple disability include all other types of disability reported above? It is not like that. See, any person, as 1 second, here we have put it as one person to one category only. It seems you cannot hear us. Yeah, I cannot hear you. It's better. Okay, you have sent your message through chat. Thanks for that. It means multiple disability. Here we have clearly put it as one person to one category only, means one category is it should be in any one of the below categories and not more than one. For example, if a person is having both visual impairment as well as physical impairment, then he has to be reported under multiple disabilities and not individually under visual impairment and physical impairment and again multiple disabilities. No, it has to be only in multiple disabilities. Any person who is having more than one disability will fall under multiple disabilities. Hope it is clear now. You can hear me.
I think this is also when you see number of persons, every time that we count number of persons, it's really the person. It's not a participant, or it's the person is that's the Michelle, or that's Tobias, or that's the person, the individual, and the person can only be counted once. And that's an important difference to other categories if you count interventions or so on. And for the impairment, the disability the person has, maybe you go for the main, if it's a tiny other disability that you say, okay, this is visual impairment, but if a person has various disabilities, he goes under multiple disabilities. And but that's also something that CBR projects, CBR, CMH, and livelihood projects did before, and education projects did before. This hasn't changed. It's just the same thing. And the under 6 years of age, that's the early intervention. That's been a different line in the CBR and education form, and we have put it under the total this way in order to have this data.
So for example, if you want to go for a multiple disability, just click on a woman multiple disability cell. You can see the popping up message. Woman is equal to over 18 years of age. Multiple disabilities is more than one disability. Any project providing CBR, CMH livelihood services, persons enrolled receiving regular follow-up services in your program. So once you click, if you click on the boys, it changes. The boys, if you click on the girls, it changes. The background cell, what you see, it changes. If so, a person with visual impairment and physical impairment, which line should we report? Then if a person is if a person is having more than one disability, it is multiple. Correct, Dev. Hope it's clear now. Anything else? Okay, so these are the two sections what we have to give a bridge to the previous forms. One is focus and one is, these are the which is bridge to the previous forms. And from now we are going to the, from whatever you see from the row number 43 and below, whatever you see from row number 43 and below is as per the work area. What it means is any project can report in any row, which is if it is doing any of the activities in the below mentioned rows below 43, then any project can report any line. That's what it means. For example, if a project is doing earlier, just to give a very easy example to remember, earlier you had, just I'm zooming in, earlier you had assistive, for example, low vision devices. You had low vision devices under CBR form, under education form, under vision form. Earlier you had in all the three forms. Now it is just low vision devices appears in only one single row. So whether it is a CBR project dispensing the low vision devices, or an education project dispensing the low vision devices, or a vision project or a vision dispensing the low vision devices, it has to report under this row. Which means that only the above two sections have to be as per the project which you are reporting till 2014. Then all the other rows will be as per the work area related to the project, and any project can fill in any line below. Okay, so first we start with yeah, yes, any questions?
So we really want to make sure that you get the concept of the work areas: health, education, livelihood, and empowerment and inclusion, because that's really different. That's more strategic, because we have tried to give the statistic a strategic direction, and we have to get from the old categories to the new work areas, to the strategic work areas. It's probably a bit of a different thinking, and we hope the way we did it gets clear to everybody.
And by using the same, most of the things are the same from the previous statistics forms. Just to let you know, we have not changed much wordings, something like, so that it's easy for the projects also to.
It's a different way of sorting, and a different way of
If it is clear, then we move on to the next. We start with the health work area.
I think that then we can go into the area of health.
Yeah. Okay. First, this is the area of health. In that, the first section would be medical services. Here, as you see, in this section, you will count the number of persons screened, examined, treated once or more during the year at your project or program. Each person to be counted only once per type of service. Per type of service means which will be vision, hearing, physical, mental health, and other medical. These are the type of services what the project would be providing under medical services. In this section, you will be having the project need to fill in 8 columns, that is number of persons and thereof number of persons with disabilities. From here onwards, you will see per each section, you will see what is the whether they have to count the persons, we have to count the interventions, or what needs to be counted. It is more made clear as per the subheadings. By giving the subheads, we have tried to make it more clearer, so that they will not mix up the persons count with the devices count or the surgery count. So in this medical services, the projects need to fill in 8 rows. One is number of persons and thereof persons with disabilities. For example, if a project has say if you as you can see, if you click on the yellow cell, it will tell you what to fill in. For example, medical services vision, I'll just try to put in somewhere here. Okay, It says men screened, examined, treated once or more during the year at your project or program. Each person to be counted only once. Say for the whole year, the project has reached 1,000 people in Vision Eye Health. Okay, so you can see here the total automatically changed to 1,000. Okay, and out of this, so they have distributed, say for 250 for vitamin A, and out of this 1,000 numbers, you can say okay, 600 were from screenings, right? Then what you do, you just go to here, to the next columns. Then you say here, see, for Vision Eye Health, you had 1,000 men who were reached. Out of them, say 150 were persons with disabilities. And out of this 250 men who were given vitamin A, there were 35 men who were persons with disabilities, men. Next, out of this number 600 persons men screened, there were say around 100 men who were persons with disabilities. So that we know this 1,000 includes persons with disabilities as well as persons without disabilities. But here it is only persons with disabilities. In the column K, KLMN, you will fill in only persons with disabilities, and in column EFGH, you will fill all the persons, including persons with disabilities. So for example, if a project doesn't fill in the top one and just fill in here, say they have distributed 100 vitamin A, then you will see a red cell which pops up saying that this needs to be filled in. If you put any number below 100, it still keeps as red until you put a figure that is equal to 100 or more than 100, right? And one more thing is, say for example, you have 350 here and 35, and by mistake some projects puts 3,500, and you see two red cells here. One is that this total should be more than or equal to this total. That is the formula that has been given, and you see that the above rows where and all the problems are, it will automatically highlight you, so that the projects, when they are filling in, they know that there is some problem. So once they delete the problem, the red cells will be gone. This is just to make sure that they fill in correctly, and it is easy for you to check when the stats figures come in. Okay.
I mean, this is basically the concept of thereof codes. You have a total, and if you say thereof, it should be a quantity which is equal or lower, but it couldn't be, because it's a thereof part of the total, it cannot be higher. And the red cells is a conditioning in order to prevent any errors that may be committed.
Yeah.
And then are you going to say something about the persons with disabilities?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Karen.
Columns? Yeah. The thereof persons with disabilities, that's a new concept for health projects.
Yeah.
I mean, the education CBR projects would have the persons with disabilities anyway, and even the types of disabilities. For the health projects, we haven't really had this, and this is a new concept, which is also a bit aligned now to the UN goals, where we say that, where it was said that it's important to have data on disability-related data, and this is a first step towards getting there, that we have more a better view on how inclusive also our health projects are. Maybe, as this is the first time this appears, the projects cannot fill this because they haven't collected this data. So there is a comment somewhere at the side, I think. Somewhere we did this comment, right? That, okay, they can give a comment and say, okay, we haven't collected this data, but it should be also have an educational effect that in the future also medical projects start to have more disaggregated data on disability as well. Like Barbara Qureshi, the medical advisor for iHealth, he said most of the inclusive iHealth projects, for example, should be able to give this data. Some others probably not, but we will see how this works out. So that's a very new thing, but it's a step towards showing how inclusive we are.
Yeah. Thanks, Karen. And as you see here, and for the next would be as the align, it may be the same way for hear and hearing care. For example, there might be 2000 women reached, and number of persons screened might be 1500 out of them. So whenever you go to an LO cell, you can see the background data that is appearing, so that you should not forget. If you have any clarification, you can just read out what to fill in. It's just made easy for the projects to see, just to fill in what they require, needs to be filled in. This is the whole section, and the same way, what is there on the top, a new line, thereof number of children under age screened or examined, early intervention. That is, for example, if we have 1000 hearing and say 2000, so can just put in a figure. Oh, it is not working, so there is some problem that I'll correct it later. There's the thing is, it is the same that okay, this is nothing
something
but,
is wrong there. You should only get red if it's higher, not if it's even
lower.
0. I mean, if they don't have any child under the age of 6, they shouldn't.
They should not be red. I'll just correct the formula what I had given. I'll just check it. But the logic is, this number what you've put it in row number 57, this should be lesser than or equal to the number what you put in ST 2500. That's the logic. And out of this 200, how many boys or persons with disabilities, or so that you cannot just put 1000 here, so that you see a red cell here. This is highlighting. So this should be at least maximum of 200, so that you see this red cell has gone. Hope it is clear in this section. Can we move to the next section? Yeah. Okay. From others, Dave, Lee, are you all clear? Okay, fine. Then we move to the next section, operations surgeries. This section, as you see here, you have only 4 columns to fill in and 1 comment columns which the project can give. Operations and surgeries. In this section, the subheading is number of surgical procedures. That means that, for example, if a project has conducted 1000 operations, in that 1000 operations, 250 for men, 250 for women, 300 for boys, and 200 for girls. That's all we require. We don't require anything else. So if you want to just go, if you click on that, number of surgical procedures performed. Example, one person may have an operation for each eye. That is, if a person is having operation for both the eyes, then it should be counted as 2 operations and not 1 person. So in this section, the operations and surgeries section, we count number of surgical procedures and not number of persons. This is just an example. cataract operations, and if they want to give any comment to that, they can just give the comment, so that also will get uploaded in the Navision for that specific code. From row number 60 till row number 81, it is the same number of operations or number of surgeries, number of surgical procedures to be counted, and not number of persons. Yeah, clear? Yeah, okay. Next we go to the next section in the health area, that is training for health, related to health. Number of participants in training or courses or workshops. A person may be counted more than once if participating in various trainings. In this section also you have only four columns to be filled in with the comments column to give the comments. Okay, this is nothing but the training sheet which used to fill with the projects used to fill in the previous form. I'll just open the previous sheet just to show you how it was looking earlier. In the staffs and training sheets, you had earlier the projects that were filling in this trainings, which is including workshop. Here also the training means it includes workshops. Here they used to fill in diploma, professional or diploma below 1 month, below 1 to 5 months, 1 to 5 months, and more than 6 months, which they used to fill in all these rows. This is for doctors, this is for nurses, this is for next rows for therapists, technicians, teachers, CBR staff, other trainings. So here we have taken we have taken the same things. See, you can see the doctors, you can see instead of reporting under 1 to 5 months professional degree, or below 5 months or more than 6 months, they need not worry. If a high specialist who is a man has attended, they can just count it here, just put it as 1. And if the same eye specialist has attended more than 1 sessions under any other trainings, then he can be counted twice here. So you know that here the number of participants, as like previous form, here in the previous form used to count number of participants. In the earlier form used to count the number of participants. Here, as you see, please indicate the number of participants who completed the training. The same concept we are applying here. Here we count the number of participants in each training. No worries that whether the person was repeated or he was in fresher. Is it clear? Okay. If, for example, you would put it here and only the last row in this section. For example, in this row number 109, thereof total number of participants graduating from professional training receiving a certification. For example, here you have 2, which means 2 eye specialists, or the total number of persons or participants who have been trained. In this, out of 2, there might be 1 person who had got the certification. Normally, if you go to the, it will read out the yellow cell. I'll just read out the yellow cells. What does it mean? Graduation certification. Men graduating from any professional or technical trainings, long term, more than 3 months, with certification. For example, a doctor sponsored for a medical course has to be reported as a thereof. Means he'll be counted in the subtotal also. Out of this one, how many had the certifications? It is just for the MS on some MS request, just to know that the support for example, if they were supporting for biometry medical courses or for some other courses which the projects the specialists or they are attending for a long term, which is having a certification, only those persons have to be reported under this line. Out of these two, in this example, out of these two, one is one person is attending a long-term course more than 3 months, which is having a technical certificate or a professional certificate. Fine. Are you clear?
I think I'd like to add that the first categories like doctors, nurses, and therapists, that's you will have the details being asked for and counted, because especially the MAs wanted to see this because they use this kind of information for their fundraising and reporting. That's why you will have the details being requested here. Then from technicians onwards, if you go to the yellow cell, you will see
technicians. Okay. Yeah.
Technicians. So that's a summary basically of the ophthalmic technicians, hearing aid, hearing mold repair technicians, various types of technicians that you would have. So it's not the details being enfolded, it's a summary of technicians here, because they said, okay, technicians is nothing that we really do report for each category, but for the first 3 ones they wanted to have the details still. So that's why you will have in the first part the details taken over from the old form, and then from technicians onwards it's a summary.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you please give your reaction in the chat box, because there are no smileys or something like that, or any questions or clarifications to this section? Okay. Others? Okay. This is just to make sure that what we are telling is reaching you. Just to make sure that, that's all. Okay.
We just want to control that you're not asleep on the other end.
Okay. Okay, next we go to the next section, that is assistive devices. Here in this section, we count the number of assistive devices. As you see the subheading, I can just show you zoom out a little bit so that you know how many columns. So in this assistive devices also, the project has to fill in only 4 columns and a comment column for each row to give the comments for each row if there is anything they want to. So here, as I said in the beginning, just if the project has dispensed 1,000 spectacles, just mention how many for men, how many for women, how many for boys, how many for girls. Just don't worry about whether the same person is receiving 2 spectacles or same person is or something like that. No, it is number of assistive devices dispensed counted and not number of persons. It is same way like in the previous form. Earlier in the previous form you had in different sheets, but we have taken out that and we have made just one section for all assistive devices that has been dispensed. So a person who is getting a spectacles, he may also get an hearing aid. It's not a problem. But here, for example, it is a total, if 1,025 spectacles are dispensed by the project, just give a breakup how many for men, how many for women, how many for boys, and how many for girls. And this is the same logic for all the rows from 112 to 120. And if they want to give any specific details, like, okay, out of this 1025, they want to mention something like, okay, we want to give, okay, 1000 were for on a camp, or on a camp, or something like that. If they wish to, uh, if they want to inform you something related to a specific line, they can just give their comments. Okay.
And there, sorry, Venkatesh, and there's also a line for repair of any device. One line where they can give this kind of information.
Yeah, if they have repaired, for example, if I click on just go to women line yellow cell, and I get a message that, okay, assistive devices women, please count the assistive devices the project repaired. For example, a person has 3 devices, 1 wheelchair, 2 hearing aids, all of which are dysfunctional. The project repairs the 2 hearing aids, then enter 2. Here in this row, they are entering only the number of devices what they are repairing. Okay, can we go to the next section? Okay, fine. Next section would be therapy and rehabilitation. Here in this section also, the project has to fill in only 4 columns with a comment column for their giving comments. Here in this section, they will be counting number of interventions. A person can be having various interventions, and he can be counted in more than 1 row. In the earlier form, it was, we used to count the persons for this interventions, but here it is number of interventions that we are counting. That is a change from the previous form. For example, if a project has given 500 physiotherapy sessions in a year, how many were for men, how many for women, how many boys, and how many girls? If you just click on girls, it shows therapy and rehab girls. Girls who had physiotherapy or occupational therapy. Please count the number of interventions provided. For example, a person received 2 physiotherapy sessions, enter 2. It is the same logic for this whole section, therapy and rehabilitation, which holds goods from 123 to 132. Fine. Any questions? Yeah, yes, Nook. Please.
Yes. Venkatesh, I see the line number 129, the ST36770, and the other one is the next one, the support of the daily living skill. How, no. Wait, sorry. I gave you the wrong number, the wrong one. Okay. The first one is 3660. And the next one is 3670. How these two different?
1 second. 3662.
Yeah.
3660 and 3670.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. The first one is skills related to low vision. Skill trainings related to low vision only. And the next one is for daily living, orientation, and mobility.
So you mean any training that related to low vision is only to report it on the above line, and all the rest are to reporting to the next line? Is that?
Yeah, this is a skill training related. If there is any training related to the low vision, skill training related, then you have to put it in this line. And if it is related to daily living, orientation, and mobility, it will come under the next line. let me read out what is there under daily living orientation and mobility. It says that one who had support of skills for daily living orientation, for example, if a person has 3 training sessions to support their range of personal self-care activities like personal hygiene, meal preparation, medication management, then enter 3. For low vision, it just says men who had skills trainings related to low vision, please count the number of interventions provided. If there are 5 sessions, if the person has attended 5 training sessions, then enter 5. Means it is interventions counted here. I think if there is any addition, Karen, if you want to add anything.
I mean, the difference, the low vision training, that would be how to use, for example, the loop, or how you call these bigger glass, or the vision, the different types of low vision devices, for example, how to use them properly, how to go over the text, for example, or if they have any other device. That's a bit different from daily living, which is really more like to how to organize your life, how to move about, how to take your medication, how to have your personal hygiene, wash your face or whatever, or comb your hair, or what you need for the daily living. That's 2 different types of
and we had this one in
training.
And we had these lines in the earlier form also. 2 different lines.
Yes.
Yeah, it was different.
But now that it's training sessions and not persons.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right, Venkatesh?
Yeah. Are you clear, Nook, now? Okay. As Karen informed you earlier, after this session, if you have any clarifications or you want more clearance on any of the rows or any of the codes, please write to us so that we'll try to check it with the respective advisors, and we'll try to give you an example or an explanation. We'll try to get it as soon as possible. We'll try to mail back to them so that you are also clear. Okay.
Yes, as Venkatesh mentioned, now of course we have also worked with the advisors, and they had a look at it. But still, if you find something or that's not clear or that you think even illogical, just let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not perfect. We've consulted advisors, MAs, and everybody, but who knows? Probably if there's some oversight or something that's not clear, just tell us. Just let us know.
Yeah. Okay, so we go to the next section, that is referral and facilitation, which has only 2 lines, and here also the project has to fill in only 4 columns. There's referral 1 line and facilitation 1 line. The referral means, for example, a CBR projects when during its work, the project finds a person who requires a cataract surgery, for example. They say that, okay, just go to this hospital and get the cataract operation done. That is just a referral. You are just informing the person who is requirement of a cataract operation and directing him to where to go and get the operation. That is referral. Facilitation is you have seen the person and you have contacted the hospital and you have fixed that appointment with the doctor. You have negotiated with the for a better price. You take the person and get the operation done and get him back to the place where he was living earlier. This means facilitation. I just wanted to give you an example so that you know the difference between the referral and the facilitation.
You may also click on the yellow cell, probably. There's some explanation there too.
Yeah, if it is for referral, we say number of persons who are advised or directed to make use of an external service, but no personal assistance given. But for the referral, for the facilitation, it is persons receiving personal assistance to access the above medical services, whatever we have seen from the top till now, and or rehabilitation services. The project staff may accompany and assist the person in every stage until he or she has received the services or interventions. So that they are with the person in every stage and make sure that the intervention or the service is being taken by that person. That is means the facilitation.
I think that's also something a lot of CBR projects do. They do everything basically, but the operation itself. And so this is a line where the CBR projects have a chance to actually report on the work they are doing. So it's not getting lost. Because there's a lot of effort and work being done, and then because they don't do the operation itself, they cannot report anywhere. So that's a line for facilitation here.
Fine. This is the last line for medical services area, work area. And next we go to
for the area of health.
Area of health, sorry. Next we go to education and livelihood. Okay. Okay. Here, first section would be education. It says number of persons with disabilities who access education. Here, if you see, here it will be the next 4 rows, not the first 4 rows, the next 4 rows, only the persons with disabilities need to be reported here for this section. I'll just zoom in again. Okay. Yeah. Can just say, sorry, integrated and inclusive settings. In that, how many men, how many women with disabilities, how many boys with disabilities, how many girls with disabilities. Next line would be special schools or classes. Here it would be how many men with disabilities in special schools, how many women in special schools, how many boys in special schools, how many girls in special schools. Next line would be thereof number of persons with disabilities enrolled in. Here, out of this total education, how many are enrolled in preschool, how many are in primary, how many are in secondary, how many are provided with non-formal. It says, for example, if you see non-formal, it says men with disabilities enrolled at your project for non-formal education. If you click on primary boys cell, it says boys with disabilities under 18 age of enrolled at your project for primary education. Okay. Next line would be graduation. Graduation, number of persons with disabilities graduated from secondary or higher education. How many men, women, boys and girls with disabilities graduated from secondary education. Then these two lines we had taken from CBR project, earlier CBR CMH projects. That is number of persons with disabilities who receive school-based education support inclusive, number of persons with disabilities who receive home-based academic support. This is a part related to education. This is a part related to education, and as said earlier, any project can fill any line, if it is working in this area.
Venkatesh, we couldn't hear you for a while.
Okay.
Probably you have to repeat.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is the the first part is the education section. Here first will be integrated include it has I'll just read out the rows which has it is integrated inclusive settings and special goals. Here in the integrated inclusive settings, if you go to the men, it reads out that men with disabilities enrolled in integrated inclusive settings. Next, if you click on the next row, it says women on the women column, women with disabilities enrolled in special schools, that is classes disability specific. These are the two rows, and then you have preschool, primary, secondary and non-formal, out of which okay, how many are preschool, how many primary, how many secondary and how many non-formal. And next row would be graduation, number of persons with disabilities graduated from secondary. It is out of these people, how many of from this line, one secondary higher education, out of this one, how many were graduated. women with disability graduated from secondary or higher education. And last two lines is number of persons with disabilities who receive school-based support inclusive, number of persons with disabilities who receive home-based academic support. This is related to the education section or education work area. Sorry, I got a comment here. May we ask you how long the presentation will be, as it is getting late in our workplace, almost 6 p.m. Yeah, I understand, Lee. I think it is okay. Let me be fast. If it is clear to you, then we go to the next sections. Sorry if it is too late for you. The other sections will be very fast. Don't worry. It will be, I think, if you can see, we have come to almost end of the report. Hope it's clear, the education section. Okay, next will be the training teachers. Earlier you had the teachers in staff and training. The same logic will apply here. Here, any training related to teachers and education will be reported here. One is the regular teachers trained and special teachers trained. So men, women, number of participants, and here thereof persons with disabilities. This is the new one. If there are for example 50 women trained, out of them how many are disabled? 10 are disabled. So that you know, the each subsection will tell you what to be counted in that section, number of participants to be counted. Here you have to count thereof participants with disabilities. Okay, next is the livelihood section. The same thing, number of persons. Here you in the first 4 rows you count the number of persons. In the next 4 rows you count thereof persons with disabilities to the each row. And as said in the beginning, thereof code is just how many of them. For example, number of, if there are 100 men, how many number of persons receiving vocational training long term, how many trained in inclusive? Maybe 50. So that this should not be more than the above number. If it is more than, then this would be highlighted in red. Same concept.
I think how the cells work is pretty clear, but
yeah.
I wonder whether you understand the thereof as regards the content, if you go back to the text, Venkatesh.
Yeah.
Because the first one is like the big total, like the vocational and professional training long term, and the thereof is inclusive mainstream settings. So that means this part is really for probably a public vocational school where a person with disabilities has been integrated, or not a CBM partner organized vocational training. So that's mainstream and that's inclusive.
Yeah.
So that's a bit a different new kind of thing that the livelihood advisors asked for. And also what's different, or what is new, is if you zoom out a bit, you've got number of persons and then thereof number of persons with disabilities. This means, for example, if you've got the livelihood advisors told me that it may be that a family member, for example, receives vocational training or business training to set up his own little store or whatever, so that the person with disability living in this family would be provided for. So it's not always only the person with disability who receives the vocational training. It may be also a family member, for example, and that's why they asked for the 8 columns, just to give the background of this part.
Yeah, if you want, you can just click on the yellow cell so that there is a explanation given, so that it's easy for you to go through. Okay, so it's clear.
Okay, I think this is all clear now then.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't talk anymore because they want to be ready to finish. But we have to speed up a bit, I think.
Yeah. The last section is inclusion and empowerment. This is the last section, so that you are happy. Okay. Here, the first section is staff. You have just 4 columns to fill in. The first row is number of staff employed at your project, irrespective of CBM support. For example, if there are 100 staff, just put 100 staff. How many are working in the management or level? That is, if you can see, management or higher level means it is nothing but who are the decision makers for that project. Okay, there are only 3 persons who are in the. So here next is, the next row is fully or partially supported by CBM. How many of this 100? If we say, okay, only 5 are being supported, okay, just put it as 5. Okay, then we come here. How many, the total staff, how many in this 100 staff, how many are disabled? Okay, there may be 10 people who are disabled. No person who is working in the management. And out of this 10, we might be supporting only 3. So the same logic what we spoke on the top for the staff. Here we take number of staff employed at a project regardless of CBM support. Yeah, is there? I have 2 questions. Okay. Yeah, Nook, if you want to ask me now, you can ask me. Otherwise, I can wait for you after this session. How can we be sure that there will be not be a duplicate in figure, since partners are required to report 4 times in a year number of patients? The first question is, they have to report on the number of patients or the persons whom they have reached only to related to that quarter. How do we make sure is, I think the program officer have to make sure that one to monitor in 2016 if they are reporting quarterly. Yeah, yes, Karen.
I also want to mention we will have the same concept as the PPR.
Yeah.
In the project progress monitoring, you also asked for the indicators as achieved in the quarter. And we do the same thing with the statistics, because as we want to integrate it, we have to have the same logic. So anything achieved within the quarter has to be reported, and we will have to probably we'll do some comments within the sheet for the quarterly reporting and some tiny guideline. We'll think of something to accompany to make it sure and clear. We still have to work on this a little, but of course, this is a new concept, but I hope that the partner will understand it. Also being asked in the same concept for the PPR and giving some more assistance within the sheet. Let's see how this works.
Yeah. Second question, Nook. Our regional office CCO is required to complete the statistic forms too, and which section inclusion and empowerment. As of now, this is only related to the projects, and the regional office and CCOs are not required to fill up this form, because staff forms is already taken by the HR department of the is already taking the forms from the regional office and the CCOs on the staff sections. But if there is anything on the second page of the regional office or the CCOs, if they have directly implemented something under their project directly from the regional office project number, they can surely report using their project project number. And if they want, they can use a sub-project function saying that if they have done 3 different works and they want to report it as 3 different separately, they can do it by using sub-project number. Or if they want to report it as one, they can report it. But if it is being reported by the implement, if it is through the project that the regional office or the CCOs is implementing a program or something like that, then it's better that, okay, the project reports in their statistics. but it's left to the regional office decision. How do you report it?
Venkatesh, this is the second time we get this question. Probably we also check back how we should really deal with this. I was wondering about child safeguarding training, for example, and so on, how this is going to be reported. Probably it's not a bad idea to have the inclusion and empowerment part being reported on. I mean, if the regional office doesn't implement any other things, any projects, it doesn't make sense so much for the other parts, but maybe, but we'll check on this. I think it's a good question, really, and to be 100% sure that we are telling you the right thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we are into the almost the last sections. Here next comes the child safeguarding and child protection. Number of staff participating in child, the same thing. Number of participants, the same concept. There are persons with disabilities. Say if there are 20 staff participating, just put it as 20 women staff who are participating. Out of that women, 20. If there are 3 who are disabled, put it as 3 here.
You may also notice that the boys and girls, persons under 18 years of age, are grayed out. That's why, because we wouldn't be allowed to have staff under the age of 18 being employed with CBM. Of course, sometimes younger people start working for CBM or in projects, but we wouldn't be allowed to, so that's why it's grayed out.
Yeah.
Just if you wonder. That's for child safeguarding reasons, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Next comes DIDRR. Here you have one question: does your project or program realize activities related to DIDRR, such as community mapping, environmental changes? If it is working, just click on this and you can see that there is select yes from the scroll down menu. If the project is realizing any activities, you can just select yes. Okay. And number of participations in training workshops related to DIDRR. Any trainings and workshops related to DIDRR, you can report it here. Number of men, women, how many were participants, and there. And if you see the heading here, there are participants and there are persons with disabilities. Okay. Next, the empowerment. Here, number of participants in arts, sports, cultural program. The same concept what we used on the top. If you see, the subheading holds good for this one also. So that's why we have not given a separate subheadings. The same subheadings holds good here also. How many men, women, and how out of them, how many disabled? Men, women, boys and girls, disabilities. Next is empowerment. Number of members. Next is there are members with disabilities. Here you see child to child peer groups. You see children columns only and not adult columns. Parent to parent, self-help groups, TPOs. TPOs we have only there of persons member with disabilities rows to be filled in. And the last one is, does your project engage in advocacy activities to influence local or national activities? If you click yes here, I think you have to ensure that the project is continuously working to influence the national or a local policy on disabilities, because just one time work or just a small work, I think they need not report it as yes. If the project is continuously working on influencing the national policies, then it would be as yes. And that's all from my end, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah. Yes, Nook, please.
Yes. Venkatesh, you mentioned earlier about the exporting the statistic from Navision. So
Yeah.
later on, will you have a manual for that, or we just
No,
follow the same
same. It is the same role
rule?
as what you are doing. It is the same. Nothing
Okay,
changes.
okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For for
Okay. Then
for Chinese and
Maybe
Vietnamese.
Venkat.
Yeah. Yes, Karen.
Yeah, probably. I mean, part of the guideline from last year
Yeah. It
is
holds good.
still more or less valid.
Yeah.
Probably we will take pieces of that guideline and adapt it a little, and then send it to you
I think they are aware
to
of
have
it.
a
They
description.
have they have
Yeah.
they have Karen, and they know. They just wanted to know if there is any change in it. There is no change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only thing is, Nook, when you try to export, there will be a line called quarter. I'll just show you on my screen. It is very quick. Just give me a moment. Are you able to see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the same screen as like previous year. Only line which has been added is quarter. You don't select anything in the quarter. You just the same way, just 2015. You give the link where it has been, where you have created the folder. Just select that folder, and regional office, you can select whichever regional office you want, Asia Central, and you can just say, and oh sorry, add filter. Just give me one, sorry, just give me a moment. That is the only line that you see. This quarter is the only line, but don't touch it. Need not worry about the quarter, because that is this will be implemented only from next year. You can just select your regional office and click OK with the selected folder, and all the uh, statistics related to that region will be exported. Yeah.
Yes, Venkatesh. I think we will do a brief description and adapt the old guideline part and do some
Yeah.
new screenshots that people know that this line is there, and send it to the regional offices so they can have a quick and easy look at how it's done to remember them.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're through, and everybody is basically waiting. I mean, you've probably seen that the inclusion empowerment part is very small. It's not a big part, but the thing is, as we want to integrate into the PPR, we are keeping it just to the minimum necessary. That's also needed by MAs for reporting, and to keep the statistic as small as possible, and then to have further data by the project monitoring out of the log frames. That's the basic idea. So if anybody wonders, oh, this is a very small space for empowerment and inclusion, which should be a major part really due to our vision and our strategic goals, but the reason to keep it small is because we want to integrate it. It's not the end of the data, basically. It's going to be enfolded in the log frames rather than in the statistics. So that's the idea behind this. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope as far as we got now, you're happy with it, and let us know what you think. And any question, as we said before, any problems, we can also have a spontaneous go-to-meeting again, a quick one for some special function or anything that you need. Just let us know. So we are here for you, to accompany you to get this done, and you just need to inform us. Venkatesh, you want to close the session then?
Yeah, if everyone is clear, then I would thank everyone for joining. And sorry it took more time than expected. And if everyone is okay, no more questions for now.
Just let us have a laugh,
Okay.
kind of live.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Thank you. So great that you visited the session, and yes, Venkatesh said sorry that it got a bit late. Come home safely.
Okay.
Have
Bye.
a nice evening then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.